My name is Joel, and today we are going to be working on fixing some saggy seat pockets in this Volvo 940. This kind of trick applies to a lot of older European cars. In this case, I'm going to be showing you a process I've used on 740s and 940s. These, you can see, they are sagging, but somebody has basically sewn them up to make them a little bit tighter. We're going to do it a little bit better than that. We're going to cut what's been sewn here on the passenger seat, and then we're going to show you how to basically replace the elastic so that these things snap tight and look a whole lot better. So let's get started. Alrighty, so let me show you the stuff that we're going to be using today. Of course, we're going to be using a pair of scissors. I've got some thread. It doesn't need to be the same color as the car. Mine just happens to be, the stitching is going to be on the inside, so it doesn't really matter. Obviously, you will need a needle as well. If you can get my camera to focus on that. Probably not. And then lastly, you will need some elastic. Now, this is something you can get at any craft store. The actual diameter that you get is up to you. I think this is maybe 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch. The key is if you get something that's too thin, it won't be robust enough for this actual thing. And if you get something that's too thick, too wide, then it won't fit. So it looks like this is about 1 inch wide on this particular car. I would just check before you buy one in advance. So let me tell you what we're gonna do. First, we're gonna cut off this stitching that somebody put in here because it's totally not needed. And it was an attempt at making this last a little bit longer. But we are basically going to get in there, find the original elastic, and we are going to cut it, and then we're going to kind of temporarily sew our new elastic to it. Then we're going to pull it through, and then we're going to cut it again, and we're going to attach our new elastic to the old elastic at both ends. So I'm not really sure what we're going to find in here because I've only done this once before on or twice before on Volvo 940s. This is a 940 SE, so it's a little different. Now, this is kind of hard to see, but you do have some stitching on here. The visible stitching that's kind of tightly coiled is not really what's holding this together. What's holding it together is basically a bunch of stitches that are going across above it. They look like hyphens, and you'll need to cut a couple of those in order to gain access to what is underneath. So I have found that once you get 1 or 2 of those cut, you can usually pull a little bit and you can maybe pop a couple of stitches loose. Really, your goal is just to get enough room in there to find your elastic and get it out. All right, so there you go. That's our elastic. Again, like I said, it's about 3/4 of an inch wide, and it basically goes into the seat. I don't know where it's anchored. I don't really care because it goes across here, and we're going to attach our new elastic piece to it. And if I haven't mentioned this already, I'm basically as far over as I can get into the corner. When I cut this, I want to just cut so that I will have enough so that I don't lose this end on the left side, and also leave enough to basically be able to attach my elastic to the new piece. So I'm gonna go ahead and start sewing. And what you sew to this, basically this right side piece, is basically temporary. It doesn't matter. It's literally just in order to pull this bad boy through. Let me see if I can find a clothespin. Actually, that might even be better. All right, so I found a tiny safety pin. Unbeknownst to my wife, she has volunteered this from her jewelry box for us to use today. I'll return it when I'm done, and she will find out when she watches this video. So basically, I'm going to put this through the end here, and then I'm going to attach it to the right side. Right, I just cut that elastic in the right side because I'm going to be pulling it from left to right. All right, pretty easy. Next, we're going to do the same thing on the left side. Give ourselves access. All right, there you go. So you can see our other piece. Now, this is where the cutting gets a little interesting, because what we want to do is we want to cut off enough to leave a tail to be able to anchor to on the right. And if you leave too much, then you won't get the full benefits of the actual elastic. So just like to make sure I've got plenty of purchase on that, and then I go ahead and cut it. And now we can go ahead and pull through. I would take special care to make sure that your safety pin or whatever you're using doesn't get hung up, because obviously that is the one risk of using safety pin. And hooray, so my elastic has actually torn halfway through. That's very exciting. So you might be thinking, what do we do now? Well, I'm pretty sure we can figure something out. I'm probably gonna fish something through in order to get this elastic in here. All right, so full disclosure, it looks like the elastic didn't tear. It looks like the safety pin actually popped open. So I'm gonna go a different route. So I've got a paper clip, and I have run that through the elastic and then hooked it around a ring on the end of a flexible metal rod that I happen to have. I would say that you can use any number of methods. You can use a clothes hanger, you can use whatever you need, but anything that will allow you to get through here, because this thing is only cut open on the two ends, and that's the way I want it, because I don't want to have to re-sew anything when I am done with this project. So let's go ahead and send it on down the line. All right, so there you go. There's our ring on the other side. Hooray! Our elastic traveled with it. So I'll go ahead and take the paper clip off. Key thing is, now that you've got it pulled through, you just want to make sure you keep your ends long enough so that you can not lose it. And the rest is pretty straightforward. So you'll find your remaining original elastic, which I said leave enough that you can get to it. You will sew the end that's closest to it onto it, right? Do whatever sewing method you would like to use. And then you will pull it tight, and then make sure you come over here on the other side and do the same. So I'm not gonna film any video of myself sewing, so let me just go ahead and get the first side done. So now our right side is done, and I can pull on the left side, give you kind of an idea of what this will look like when we're done. Obviously it's up to you how tight you want to pull it, but you want to make sure that you take the slack out, because if you don't do that before you sew it, then this whole project will be for nothing. So I'm not going to put too much tension on it. I don't want to pull any threads too hard on this right side, but like I said, go ahead and pull this tight. Then you'll have your little nubbins on the left. Do the exact same thing. I refuse to show you how I work with the needle and thread, because it's very amateur at best. So that's how you match them up, and then you'll have excess on the elastic that you can cut off. I may even have enough to go ahead and do the other seat. So here we go. There you go. We've sewn everything up on the left side. All I need to do now is cut off the extra elastic. And there you go. And as soon as you let go, it all disappears. I still have two openings where I pulled stitches out. I'm not messing with them, because guess what? No one's ever gonna see it. All people are gonna notice is that when they get in your old Volvo, it doesn't have saggy back pockets like the other old Volvos they've ridden in. There you go. I hope you found this video helpful. If you see any other content on our channel for other Volvo projects, feel free to give it a look. Thanks so much. Cheerio.